What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 29 of For Life Trading Cards podcast and video series. It's your boy Sasha. Glad to have you guys back. What we wanted to go over today was should you, when first starting out, if you're looking at cards from an investment standpoint, should you be buying cards that are ungraded or graded? Which one's better? How should you go about it? All that sort of stuff. So let's get into it today. So let's say you're first starting out, right, guys? You don't know too much about the hobby and cards in general, and you're kind of looking to start getting into it as more of an investment. I highly recommend buying cards already graded. Now, if you don't know what grading is, let me give you a little background on that. So grading is like, let's say you have a raw card like this. This is a Mbappe. You have it. You send it to a company. The biggest ones right now are PSA and BGS. And they actually give the card a grade from 1 through 10 of what condition the card is. So if you get a 10, then the value of your card goes up. Usually you're going to get anywhere from like a 8, 9, or 10. Most likely you're going to get a 9 or a 10. If you get a 9, usually the card value stays about the same if it's like a newer card. So you don't really lose money, but you don't really make any money. But if you get a 10, your value increases a ton. So that's the beauty of getting your cards graded, is that it brings your value up. So like what I do a lot of the times, I buy cards raw in bulk and I send them in and get graded. And I make money that way because I'm buying cards for a lot cheaper than I would if it was in mint 10 condition. But let's say you're just getting into the hobby, right? And you're looking at it from an investment standpoint. Buying cards raw can be really tricky because there's a couple things you need to learn. PSA, which is the main grading company that I use, they're really highly looking at the corners of the cards. That's what they really like. They want to make sure it's sharp. They want to make sure it's not soft, no white little dings or anything like that. So those are stuff, and like scratches on the card and dents, the centering has to be good. So those are some stuff that it takes a little bit of time for you to understand. It's tough. You don't want to go in and just buy a bunch of raw cards, set them in grading, and don't get good grades because you're going to be losing money. So that's why I highly recommend when you're first getting in, buy the card already graded. You don't have to go through the grading process. You already get your card, you're good, and you're safe. And that's what you want to start out as. You don't want to start out getting into cards in a bad experience. You want to make sure you're starting off feeling good. And honestly, buying graded cards it works. I mean, like you can. But let me give you an example, guys. Luka Doncic's PSA 10. Base rookie card over the summer was $60. Right now it's $250. So don't think that if you're buying a already graded card, you're going to be like losing out on something. It's the same thing, except maybe you don't make that little extra amount of money. It takes a little bit of time to pick up on how to grade cards and stuff like that. Some of the stuff I send in, I think they're going to get good grades, and some of them don't. And then some of the stuff that I thought that I shouldn't have sent in gets good grades. So it's a learning experience. It's definitely, I definitely haven't mastered it. Loads of people who've been in the hobby for, 20 times longer than I haven't mastered it yet. But now let's get to maybe you've bought some cards before and now you're starting to get into, you want to send a couple of your raw cards in. Let me give you some advice on that. Newer cards are always going to grade better because they're new, they're in good condition. A lot of people tend to think that sending in vintage cards that are just going to get a 10 out of nowhere, that's not going to happen. Just think about it this way. Like if a LeBron Topps Chrome raw card, I don't know, they're probably going for like 700 or 600 right now. If everybody could just buy that card off eBay, send it into grading for $10, and now it's a PSA 10 worth $4,000, then everybody would do that. But it doesn't work like that. So that's why, there's particular people who really, really know, specific cards and what they have to look for within that card. So just coming in, don't just think it's as easy as maybe some people have talked about, because grading is definitely a learning experience. So vintage, if you're getting into the hobby and vintage raw probably isn't the best bet for you. What I would highly recommend is new Prism cards. Those are the ones you want to go after, because you got a way better of a shot of getting a 10. You can look for a couple things automatically and see like if it's either going to get a 9 or a 10. I'll give you some examples right away. I'll pull out the same, just if you're looking at any Prism card, a brand new Prism card, it could be basketball, it could be soccer, whatever. If you're sending it to PSA, the first thing I always look for is the back two corners. I want to make sure they're sharp and they don't have any blemishes or soft corners or any white showing on the corners. I just want to make sure overall it's sharp. If it's not, that right there is a warning sign that you're probably not going to get a 10. The next thing you want to look for is surface blemishes or scratches. So you'd actually take it out of the top loader and pull it out and you check it. Some people even have like magnifying glasses. I don't really do that. I'm not too like picky on that. But some people do that. You want to make sure there's no scratches on the card. Again, no dents, nothing like that. And then the next thing I want to look for is the centering. A lot of people, it's confusing for them to understand centering. It's basically like, let's say you have, I don't know, an apple, and one side is just like completely bigger than the other. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. So you know, PSA really allows like 60-40 centering. They're not too strict on it. But if you send your cards to BGS, they're definitely going to be more strict. So you want to make sure your card's centered. So like this Mbappe right now, definitely if you look right here on this side, my left, it's definitely a little bit smaller than what on this side. So right there, you can tell it's off-centered. Honestly, I'm not too worried about this though, because I've sent in cards that are a lot more off-centered than that, and they get 10, so not too worried. But those are the sort of things, just to give you like a little quick background on it, of what you should look for when grading cards. I'll probably put a video out like of a full in-depth because I have a bunch of cards I need to send in. Like I have all these I still need to send in. So I'll make a video on that as well, just like going through my cards. But yeah, definitely when you're starting in cards, just buy it graded. Again, you still have the same upside. I know like grading cards is intriguing, and you can see that like flip, like you can see the value in it, but definitely at least with vintage, just stay away from now. New Prism, definitely you can start dabbling, but again, the safest bet for you to do is go with already graded cards. Just kind of wanted to, I get a lot of DMs on that, so I wanted to kind of get that out there already and answer questions. Again, there's some cards that are really tough grades, like this Kaboom. So if you guys ever heard of Kaboom, these are really tough grades. Again, it's a little bit of a thicker card, and corners just don't do as well with the thicker card. It's all silver and shiny, so scratches are easily noticed. It's just a tough grade. And some people don't know that, so you know, they go in and they think they're going to get 10s and they end up getting 8s and stuff like that. So definitely something you want to watch out for and understand the market a little bit more and understand particular cards a little bit more as well, because again, you can lose a lot of money out on grading if you don't know what you're doing at first. But if you have any particular questions on grading as well, you can just DM me. You guys probably know me from my Instagram page at 4Life Trading Cards, at 4Life Trading Cards. Hopefully I said that right. As I as well have a TikTok at 4Life Trading Cards, which we just hit. We're past actually 5,000 followers on TikTok now, which is amazing. It's crazy. So you can definitely check me out on there as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, guys, please subscribe. That would mean a ton. I like a ton. Please. If you can do that, that would be dope. Like this video, comment as well. And then if you're listening on Spotify, please follow me on Spotify. In general, we've got a lot more content to come. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you next time.